to hate doing this kind of like thing where you put like oil on your face and you have water. It just feels uncomfortable, but I got used to it after. I've been doing it for like over a year now, so I'm comfortable doing it this way. And then I put the rest in my hand and then I just go over. And then I just usually just wait for it to dry before I apply anything. Hi, so I decided to do a video like the Chatty Get Ready With Me videos. So yeah, this is basically the bag I keep my makeup in. I don't have a lot of makeup because I'm not a makeup enthusiast. I used to be. So before I go over makeup, I don't do the basic like, oh, primer, because you should use primer, but I just don't use primer. I'm just gonna moisturize with the Aveeno. I use the oil, then I go over it with lotion, and I noticed that Aveeno kind of like gives my skin kind of this soft texture, you know. And I only use this when I'm gonna use makeup, is when I use Aveeno. I usually don't use it for any other reason. Sometimes I use it on my hand, but Aveeno has this, I don't know how to describe this texture that just makes my skin in general just like, so I'm gonna be using my CoverGirl mirror for this. Hopefully it works out. So to do my brows, I use this thing called Cargo. I got it from Dwayne Reed in Manhattan. It's, I don't know, it's a London brand I think, but it's called Columbia, and it looks like this. And I use this brush that I got from Rite Aid. Nothing fancy, but I use the same brush to put the brow on, and then I also use the same brush to put concealer on, which is okay. So I brush them up first to kind of get an idea of where I should place things. I just go over that, and then kind of fill in the areas where there's like a little bit of hair. And then just kind of go over everything. This eyebrow is really good. I hate dealing with this one because it's just that this eyebrow is just ugh. Lord. This is the eyebrow that has the least amount of hair too. So it's always a nightmare having to fill this one in. Well, it's not a nightmare, I'm being a little too dramatic, but. And I like the look of having a little bit of like hair over here, so sometimes I go in a little bit over there. But I don't use the same one because this one is a little too dark, so I go in with my, what you call it, what is this? Wet n Wild color palette, and I use the darkest shade. So I go in a little bit on that, and then I just kind of, it's very subtle, so you don't really notice it, but it's like, it gives you kind of that effect of having fuller brows. Yeah. So what I do is just like clean off the excess powder, and then I use my concealer, which is the CoverGirl Queen Collection in Spicy Brown. So kind of just ooh, that's a little too much. I usually don't use that much. I'm gonna try and transfer some of this over here. It's not really working, but hey. Okay. What I'm using now is the Wet n Wild Mega Clear mascara, but it's like a, I think it is it's a brow and lash mascara. So it's kind of gross now because, you know, I dip it, and I've dipped it in a few times. And yeah, some color goes from my brow to things, so it's kind of gross, but what are you gonna do? Sometimes I don't really like using this though, and I'll tell you why. I feel like sometimes using brow gels, I use it mainly to lighten, you know, if I was too harsh on my brows, which is I feel like all the time. But I feel like it makes my brows look shiny sometimes. Cream, and the BB cream I have been obsessed with is this Black Radiance BB cream. And I've seen some people on YouTube like talk about it or like rave about it. I like it. It has SPF of 15 in it, so that's always cool. Ooh, that's a little bit too much product. Too much product for your girl. Let me put this down. I tap it on my nose because I have scars on my nose and I have like really extremely large pores on my nose that, oh my god, like they never, like I've always tried to use products to get rid of my large pores, but I still have them. Right now my face is looking so shiny. Yes, really shiny. And then I use this CoverGirl Queen collection, you know, Queen Latifah's collection, and then I use mine is in medium deep. This kind of, you'll see when I use it. Basically, so I kind of just dot this on my face, like there's no real technique. I kind of just dot it instead of sweeping it, because I noticed that when I dot it I get more of this like airbrush look. I'm sorry. Some of it got my nose. And I have naturally like darkness around my eyes, and I like keeping that because I don't like to highlight or like conceal that, because I feel like that's just, it looks more natural that way. You want to look like you have good skin. You don't want to look like you have like perfect skin, unless you're doing like a photo shoot. This is an Eco Styles brush. Eco Style. It has like some residue on it, sorry. Eco Styles brush, and I love the color of this. That's really why I bought it. The next thing I do after this is highlight, and I use this brush that I got from like the beauty supply store. It's nothing fancy. I'm not really too crazy about brushes. I never, even when I was a makeup enthusiast or what have you, I was never like crazy about like, oh, this brush feels soft, like I just put it in my skin and it just feels, no, I was just like kind of like, this is a brush for applying makeup, cool. The next product I'm going to be using is for highlighting. No, actually that's a lie. I have to contour first. And I use the same brush for contouring and highlighting, which is probably like no bueno, but yeah, your girl does that. So the Wet n Wild palette, and I use the darkest brown shade, which is this shade right here. So what I do with that is I have to use a mirror, so I'm like multitasking. Look at my hands right now, like all this stuff. Alright, so first I go in with the brown shade, and then I kind of just do this, and then I just kind of place it over there, because that's where I'm going to blend. So I go in with the brush, and then I kind of just blend. Blend. Just gonna do the same to the other side. So what I use for highlighting, what I use for highlighting is called Vera Moore, and it's a blush called 8th Avenue. And I got this from Dwayne Reed. Sorry, my nose is like allergies. Ugh. Anyway, it's this kind of like, it's a blush. Yeah, it's a blush shade, but I think it's more of like a blush for like lighter skin tones or like paler women. But this, I use it as a highlight because it's so pigmented. So like my highlights don't look like crazy. Like I don't look like a disco ball. With highlighting, honestly, like especially if you're dark like me, you're never really gonna notice like much of a difference. So I mean, you can always build up on it, but I don't really take highlighting that seriously. I focus on the eyes a little bit more. I'm gonna be doing a wing liner. The wing liner I use, it like the packaging kind of faded away, but it's NYC's liquid liner. I love it because it kind of is good. It's beginner friendly, and this is like the hardest part. So like sometimes I mess up. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I mess up with these wing liners, but hopefully for the sake of this video, I get it right. So let's do it. So I kind of start over there. I never really over exaggerate with liner because, like I said, I'm always afraid of messing up. So that one came out pretty decent. In my last video, the 50 facts about me video, I noticed that you could hear a lot of birds in the background. I was like, oh, that's so cute. This one is kind of less chinkier. I'll make this chinkier. Yes! Yes! The reason why I don't wear liner a lot though is because I feel like liner kind of makes my eyes look smaller, and I'm really for like the Mila Kunis like big eyes, but I feel like liner kind of gives me like the smaller like eye look, and that's why I don't wear it often. It depends on my mood really. I'm sorry. The mascara I am wearing or using is the Lash Accelerator by Rimmel, and it has a lash growing complex or something like that. So I feel like that's why I bought it and that's why I use it. But honestly, this is hands down the best mascara I've ever used, because okay, that's a lie. But I feel like it's a lot better than a lot of the high-end mascara. I found out about this mascara through Makeup Doll here on YouTube. She used it and I saw her lashes and I was like, I'm buying it. And when I bought it and I used it, I was like, oh my god, this mascara is kind of dope. I always start at the root because since it has lash growing complex, I feel like if I start at the root, then the whatever makes your lashes grow will make my lashes grow. So this is kind of like my basic everyday makeup look. It's kind of like neutral, but I don't really wear eyeshadow. And from lipsticks, I rotate. Like sometimes I'll wear Cinnabar from Brucci, which is a really cool like red color. It's like very toned down, not very like, oh my god, I love your lipstick, but it's still like a mature look. Mahogany by Brucci. I love Brucci. They're cheap lipsticks and their lipsticks are cute, and I like matte lips, and this gives me that. This is a more like red, like one of those like ruby woo or like Riri woo. So this is kind of more like spicy, like girl, spicy. And this is a lipstick different. It's different. I love the packaging. It's so pretty. Anyways, Milani, and it's called Milani Rose Femme. Sometimes I use this, but this I have to use with a liner. And I think I might go with this today because I'm in the mood of just having lighter lips. It's spring, you know. Lighter lips are in. So, am I gonna line it? No, I don't think I'm gonna line it. I think I'll just use my... And for lips, I'm wearing my Milani Femme Rose. I decided to go with that instead because it's more cute. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.